Draw structural for all possible isomers. There's where you can do all the different things you want to do. Changing functional groups, changing positions. Yeah. And notice I only gave you what? 3 carbons, because I didn't want to, you know, if I put 4 carbons on that one, the number of isomers would have gone, I think as it was, there were about 30 isomers for that particular structure, doing all sorts of combinations and things. And if I put 4 carbons, it would have gone up to about 3,000 isomers, which is more points than I had in the course. Okay, that's it, plus 1. Oh, you can't see what I'm pointing to, sorry. I'm watching it on the screen here. If you see me looking at something on the screen and talking about it, say, why don't you show? In other words, this one here, I gave you C3H4, and I think there are about 35 different isomers people found for that. And there you could change. Well, and that's maybe what I was referring to when you asked. In other words, once I pass out the quiz and you start asking me questions, I just think and answer the question in general terms. And that answer applied to this type of question. But I'm not going to say specifically for the quiz what the answers are. Yes?
I have a question for quiz 12, number 2C. It says phenol.
Phenyl? Yeah, that's the benzene ring as a substituent.
Oh.
Remember I talked about that and I said the other way of naming it is having this substituted onto the benzene ring. And then it would be, what would it be?
Okay, so what I understand is that YL is usually added to a functional group. So I thought phenol was added to
Okay,
phenol.
this is 1-butene. Whoops. Okay, so there's 1-butene, 3-phenyl as the substituent.
What happened to the OH?
There is none.
Well,
This is not.
that's what I'm asking, right?
Phenol is.
It's a completely different thing.
And I said, that's why you have to, I think I went into the joke about the pronunciation of things. This is phenol, this is phenyl.
So what I understood was that YL was added to a
Substituent.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's a substituent on here. There's no phenol in there at all. Phenyl is another name for the benzene ring when you're treating it as a substituent.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. That was my question.
If you remember, and I said we weren't going to use it, but a long time ago, and that's one of the reasons I threw that in there, so I threw that in there. That was a sort of old quiz. We used to use that diphenyl thiocarbazone as paper as a test for the zinc. I said the only reason we don't use it is people always said they got a positive test because you handle the paper with your fingers. You get zinc from your perspiration and it changes the paper. So I stopped using that paper because it's too sensitive. So, but that was diphenyl. That means it had 2 benzene groups on a carbazone, which was that's the other way of writing the benzene ring. Diphenyl thio. I guess I got one too many. It's been so long since we used this molecule, I forgot the structure. That's not going to work. Somewhere I have to get a nitrogen in there. Something I don't remember what it is anymore. But it was diphenyl thiocarbazone, and it had 2 benzene rings substituted on a carbon chain. So we used to use that, and that's where the phenyl came from. And so when somebody asked me about it, I said we're just doing this substituent. The other way we could have named this would be what? Iso. No, I needed one. That's why I said we weren't going to do it like that. And it has to be isoamines, you're connecting it on. Okay, so that was a substituent we didn't talk about. Remember, he gave you that long table of substituents, and I said we're not going to worry about all of those.
Yes.
So, and he didn't really give you something called. Okay. He didn't really give you that one on that table, and so I said we weren't going to name it like that. We'll just do the easy thing and treat this as a substituent. Because the benzene ring can be a substituent, just like methyl can be a substituent, ethyl, so phenyl is the
How come the ring isn't part of the longest chain?
Well, it's, like I said, when you do it like this, you're still naming this as a substituent on the number 1 carbon of the benzene. Then you would name it something like this, and I'm still not sure I got this part all correctly written there. Because looking at that, I could have put the benzene ring here too instead of that hydrogen. So I think I missed one number in there somewhere, which is why I said we weren't going to do it like that. Because that's one of the problems with organic chemistry. In organic chemistry, it's a fairly thin book like this for the nomenclature rules. When you go to organic chemistry, they have the Beilstein index over at Long Beach State. We don't have one of those here. But it's like 500 or 600 books, or 400 books, listing all the 6 million compounds that have been made. And there's one book that's about this thick that tells you how to look things up in the Beilstein index and how to name things. And it's all rules and different types of compounds. Organic chemistry gets pretty complex because of the fact that carbon bonds to itself in a variety of ways. Any other questions? Okay, let's go over and do our quiz and start working on the lab. As I mentioned, you